Hey, Jim. You want to do some yard foraging? Since the orchestrated Hunger Games are soon to come? Let's do it. So after walking around here earlier, I just realized, looking at my garden and things, that there's a lot more to eat around here than you think. In a desperate situation, or even, it doesn't even have to be a desperate situation. If you want to experiment with, natural edibles that grow in your front yard, probably. Get out of there, Jim. Where are you going? Anyway, I've spotted like 4 or 5 things just walking around here that's edible. If you're in the South, you're probably familiar with pokeweed. We have lots of that around here every year. I think people take the top leaves off, like the top bunch right here. And you cannot, it is poisonous if you don't cook it. You do not want to eat any of these raw. But you cook it up just like you'd cook up any greens. And they say it's good, like in some Mexican rice or omelets, kind of like a spinach. I have no idea what it tastes like. I've never tried it. But right next to that we have stinging nettle, which I call stingweed. They're called stinging nettles is the proper name, not the biological botanist name, but anyway, that's what stinging nettle looks like, and it has a property to it. These little jagged leaves have little stingers in them, so you do not want to rub against them with your skin or try to touch them. And when you harvest them, you have to wear gloves. And of course, this is not edible raw either. It has to be cooked to get all those little stingers out. You do not want to put that in your mouth. But apparently, it has medicinal properties to it. It's good for diabetes. And also, they say, like when you rub up against stinging nettle, which I've done several times, especially on my legs, you get in a patch of it walking in the woods or something, and it stings, it burns, but evidently it stimulates the body and has some very good medicinal properties to it, as well as being edible. And I've seen people on YouTube take this stuff. They'd find a field of it and they'd get so happy. And same deal here, you just cut off the top parts. You don't really want all the bigger bottom leaves, kind of tough and all of that. You just want to harvest the top. And remember to wear gloves. And these, just boil them up and put some butter on them, is how I've seen people eat them. And they claim that they're very, very tasty. And I might very well try that sometime, since we have all these around here. We got lots of stinging nettles and lots of poke. I'm not so sure I'd be a big fan of poke because I'm just not a big fan of greens in general, but in a dire situation, I wouldn't hesitate to cook up some poke. And I noticed over here where I have, the big time edibles growing. Finally got some beans to come up. I had a batch of bad seed that I planted like 3 times over. It never came up. And I put out some seed I had from last year and they all came right up. So I finally have beans coming. My potatoes are beautiful. These beautiful flowers on the potatoes. And these big, huge, giant pumpkins are really flourishing here. I'm really excited about those. Really excited. Over there in my little cucumber patch, I've got some cucumbers coming on. They're tiny, but they're flowered out and they're definitely coming on. I'll have cucumbers probably in a week. So I noticed over here some wild strawberries. Now, I've never eaten a wild strawberry, but I'm about to try one right now. And they say if it doesn't taste good, like if it's just tasteless, it's called a mock strawberry. That's what it looks like. So I'm gonna give it a try. Let's see what it tastes like. I mean, it's not bad. But yeah, tasteless, kind of tasteless. So evidently that's a mock strawberry. But still edible, still nutritious, just doesn't have a taste. We have some buttercups here that are about burned up from the weather today, but those are also edible. Well, that was interesting to taste a wild strawberry. I had to make sure they're not poisonous. I looked them up. And they're not. Either they'll taste good or they'll be tasteless. But they're still edible and very nutritious. Over here we have a giant walnut tree that will produce very, very, very many walnuts at the end of the summer, early fall. And I noticed earlier when I was over here picking some pixie lilies, some wild pixie lilies. We have one more edible that I was standing over here eating. Oh, there's some more pokeweed right there. That stuff's everywhere. We have another mulberry tree. But this one is producing really nice mulberries. I mean, they're good size. Look, this tree has been knocked down. This branch has been broken off. And it's dying, but I noticed over here, these are good sized mulberries. These are what a mulberry is supposed to look like compared to what I've been getting out of my driveway. Look at all of them. And they are so good. But look, it stains big time. But they are very good. I checked on the mulberry wine today. I might make a video about it in the morning. I can't stop eating them. They're good, Jim. And the mulberry wine has got a bubble to it, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. See my fingers? And over there is our wild pixie lilies. I'm gonna stain my phone. I picked a nice little bunch of those earlier. Anyway, Jim and I just wanted to share the edibles in the front yard. If you look real hard around you, especially in the summertime, early summer, you can find things to eat. I'm sure there's much more than that. There's much more than that I just don't know about. I just wanted to share my front yard edibles. Later.